Good afternoon, everyone. Before we start our report, let me introduce to you myself. I'm Kia Joy E. Igtos, the leader of this group, and together with my team, Angelica Cahilla, Rhea Iglesias, Michelle Samonte, and Jeremiah Latorre, we will be discussing designing and managing services. But before that, let's bow down our head and feel the presence of the Lord our God. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him. We humbly pray, and do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the divine power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who roam throughout the world seeking the ruins of souls. Amen. Now, let us now start our report. Chapter 6: Designing and Managing Service. The manifestation of innovative activity through the innovation process creates the condition for the sectoral economic development and tourism services quality improvement. To form an innovative mechanism and to implement innovative ideas, it is necessary to develop local tourism systems aimed at creating new tourist resources and products to stimulate their growth and competitiveness. At the end of this chapter, the student should be able to understand the concept of service design, comprehend the challenges of service innovation and design, be familiar with the different service design principles, learn the differences among the types of service setting, explain the necessity for service process redesign, and understand how service process redesign can improve service quality and productivity.
Reality Bites, a family-owned Filipino-Chinese fast food chain, has been in existence for more than a decade already. Upon the retirement of the family patriarch, the next generation owners decided to expand their operation. The fast food chain branches have only been placed to areas proximate to the commissary of the company. The commissary also locates the executive and administrative offices. In its area of operation, the fast food chain fares well against its competition. The success can be attributed to the familiarity of the locals to the food that the restaurant offers. Also, a great portion of the menu is categorized as a good pasalubong present for out-of-own travelers. So I have a question. Being in the category of quick service restaurant like Jollibee, McDonald's, KFC, what would be the best strategy to take when the restaurant opens in places dominated by nationally known quick service restaurant? Well, being in the category of quick service restaurant, the best strategy to take is first things first. To give yourself the best shot at success, you need to know your target market. Why? To maximize your sales, you must provide your customers what they want. And the only way to do that is by understanding who they are and what they expect in a quick service restaurant. Next, what type of service can be adopted in order to hold count against the competitors? Well, look after your existing customers. It can be easy to take loyal customers for granted, but they will be your competitors' target market. Don't give to your customers a reason to look for alternative suppliers, and improve your customer service by being more responsive to their needs and expectations. Consider offering low-cost extras such as improved credit terms, discounts, or loyalty schemes. It's cheaper and easier to keep existing customers than to find new ones. So let's proceed to the main content of this topic, which is concept of service design. When we are talking about service design, it is the activity of planning and organizing people, infrastructure, communication, and material components of a service in order to improve its quality and the interaction between the service provider and its customers. Design is a term often related to the physical structure or model of certain products that is aimed to provide more value, better efficiency, or enhanced performance of the goods. Also, design is used for various purposes in the different aspect of running a business organization, such as creating standards in order to justify a premium price, introduce a new product in a highly competitive industry, discourage competitors, please the customers, streamline complex procedures, motivate employees and members of the organization, apply innovative ideas, improve efficiency, and establish the competitive advantages. Also, good design makes good business sense because it translates customers' needs into the shape and form of the product or service and enhance profitability.
Service innovation and design. The uniqueness of the tourism and hospitality industry as a service-oriented industry has made the delivery, description, and communication of its product difficult. The services provided by the hospitality industry are often subject to the description of the product through words, since the offering cannot be touched or examined physically. With this, the method of describing the service through words may lead to unfavorable result, which can be disadvantageous to the service organization. Words that were used may somehow be inadequate or oversimplified to describe a complex service. The use of words alone may also result in an incomplete information dissemination. A detailed and intricate process of preparing a meal service for 2 VIP guests may be relayed with some details or elements being omitted. Also, the person relaying the message or information may have a biased idea or opinion that may result in an opinionated description rather than a factual delivery. Some organizations with impeccable track record apply strategies and philosophies that best fit their organization. These approaches may be cutting-edge designs and innovation that provide impressive products and services. Organizations tend to adopt a strategic balance to product or service and delivery process. A balanced combination would ensure that the organization maintains its position from its competitors and improve in efficiency and productivity process. Others follow the top management approach, where top brass set the direction and design effort, and for others to be committed to the objective set. Working together as one team is also important in order to encourage employees or departments to get synchronized with the main objective of the project. Before implementing service innovation, organization can invest more attention in their cultural dimension. It can enhance the collective cohesiveness, strengthen the trust between members, and create the united professional team for enterprise service innovation activities.
Service Design Principle. What is service design? Service design focuses on experiences and interactions rather than products, seeks to balance aesthetic and human needs with organizational capabilities. There are 5 principles of design that are followed by professionals. These are founded on the idea that service design focuses on delivering quality customer experience. Holistic. Although the design is focused on the customer, the organization should not forget the idea that the environment plays a big role or influence on how well services could be delivered. A carefully planned design would consider how the different factors from the environment can enhance the service process. Second is co-creative. Aside from environment, those who create service design should also look and take into account the stakeholder who in one way or another may influence the design. Consider as well the impact on how the design process can be properly communicated or delivered through the stakeholder to maximize the potential of the service design. Third is user-centered. Service design is first and foremost created for the customers. Design must focus on how customers expect how the products or services will be delivered. Ultimately, design will be dictated on how customers will require the service. Fourth is sequencing. Product and services most often are delivered from a combination of interrelated action to come out with an output which is the product or service. In order to render the best service, proper sequencing and timely delivery should be done, which may even increase the level of satisfaction of customers. Lastly, the evidencing. Unlike tangible products and goods which can be physically scrutinized, services should somehow create a visual expectation of the product. This would make the service establishment difficult to forget, for it has created an impact to the customers. So this principle serves as guide in order to elevate the experience of customers. Innovation can always be available at any given time. Consequently, the principles we know today may be irrelevant tomorrow. Service innovation may be different types, and they are based on strategies and solutions undertaken by firms around their services rather than product. Some types of service innovation are the following. Service provision innovation. When you say service provision innovation, there are several methods and style in this type of service innovation. This innovation is about the services offered by firms, which are either new or improvements of existing services. The type of this innovation includes major or fundamental innovations. These are new services to the market that were not yet offered and often create an impact to customers. Next is the service innovation around customer. This innovation happens when the customer role is defined or altered. People who enjoy eating while movies used to go to fast food chains or convenience stores for their food during the movie watching session. New companies now are offering delivery services to bring the food that a customer wants right at his or her doorsteps. Other one is the innovation through solution. Firms approach the customer needs not by the traditional offering of products, but by offering activities translating to preventions of solutions, such as consulting in area of expert management services, design of travel and vacation, and outsourcing. Lastly is service innovation through interconnectivity. The advancement of technology brought forth the digitization of most electronic products, with digitation sensors are built in these appliances, including ways that the equipment may communicate. These sensors can capture data that can then be transformed to create information and connectivity. This interconnectivity may result in technology development to be able to provide comfort and convenience to customers. Interconnectivity allows equipment to be accessed remotely, enhances performance and safety, amplifies knowledge and capabilities, and create new capabilities.
Blueprinting services. Blueprinting is an illustration on how services are rendered. It shows how a service design is implemented. It is a plan that displays the interaction between departments or elements and activities as part of one entity. Blueprint provides a tool to dissect the different components and steps in the process, how the tasks were performed, and proof of service based on actual customer experience. Some of the steps in blueprinting services are the following. Prepare a schematic format of all the elements and processes of the service design. Geometric figures may be used to represent the different elements and process flow. As the process becomes more complex, the diagram may also look multifaceted and may require a larger space to render. Recognize possible decision points and conflict zones are areas where there could be possible issues and concerns that may arise. Set standards in terms of allowable adjustments acceptable from the perspective of both the customer and the organization. Any photos, slides, or videos of the process can be very useful as pieces of evidence that represent contact points, encounters, or interactions. Analyze the impact of the pieces of evidence, contact points, and interaction as regards to the effect to efficiency and profitability of the organization.
Selected methods and tools for service process. Some of the other methods and tools used to analyze service process are the following. Number 1. Affinity diagram. It is an analytical tool to gather and organize information from a significant amount of mixed data source from researches, insights, concepts, diagrams, brainstorm ideas, and design. This method is employed to sort and bundle information into groups or based on the relationships. Number 2. Brainstorming. It is a method to generate ideas from a group of people to solve a design problem. Under the direction of a facilitator, members of the group contribute ideas freely to cover as many areas as possible in search of the best possible design. Raw ideas contributed by the participants are gathered and refined to determine solutions. Number 3. Character profiles. This will help in justifying the innovations and improvements designed for the clients. These supplement the understanding and appreciation of designers by providing patterns or trends about the service users. Number 4. Contextual interview. It refers to interview conducted in a natural environment where the service occurs. This type of interview yields highly accurate and detailed information because this method observes and proves the behavior of the service user. This is a collaborative partnership between the interviewer and the service user to understand the behavior of the user. In the interview, the observation and interpretation are discussed with the user, wherein the user is free to correct or expand the interpretation of the interviewer. Number 5. User Journey Map. It is a diagram that uses illustrations, photographs, and code telling about the journey of the user through a service. It helps in identifying the key stages and touch points along the user service experience, what part of the service works for the user, and what part needs to improve. It is a useful technique to understand the motivation of customers in relation to their wants, needs, hesitation, and concerns. Number 6. Cultural proofs, or also known as user diary. It provides a way of gathering information about people and their activities and insights about the daily life of communities. Cultural proofs are used when information needed from users are with minimal influence on their actions or when the process or events being explored happens over a long period. Number 7. Documentaries. This method is a visual presentation of human emotions and expression captured through film. These are a tool used to provide information at the initial stages of the design process. Number 8. Empathy proofs. An opportunity for the user to speak out what is in their mind. These are a tool for design that consider what the users are thinking and feeling more than what they are doing and saying. This helps designers to observe the users before concentrating on the area to engage deeply. Number 9. Ethnographic user research. It is a tool used to support a deeper understanding of the design issues for the service designers. Through this research tool, the designer will be able to establish what motivates the user to do something and what hinders them to not to do things. Ethnographic research is usually done at the beginning of the project to be able to support design decisions. Number 10. Experience prototype. It is a simulation of service to test new service ideas or design for specific physical touchpoints. It seeks out whether the design is applicable to the user or identifies the area that could possibly be improved. This tool communicates what the experience would be like and allow the designer to test and to improve the designs with the potential users. Number 11. Focus group. It is a setting of deliberately selected people who are participants of discussion about a particular topic which intends to bring out their perceptions and feedback to the design ideas. A trained moderator leads a discussion within the group that is designed to gather the helpful information. The moderator is with a set list questions that will be shared with the group to elicit responses, opinions, and ideas from all of the participants. Number 12. Immersion. It is also known as emphatic research or role-playing. A researcher involves himself or herself with the study area by becoming part of it. It is a good source of information since the designer will have an actual experience with regards to emotions and social interactions with the community. Number 13. Observation. It is a method that can be used to identify problems when users are interacting with a product. Through observation, services can be evaluated and the user experience can be determined to a certain level. With set parameters, by more observation, one could tell if the service is at par with expectation. Number 14. Personas. Represent types of users that avail of the services or products of companies. Personas are created to help understand the needs, behavior, experience, and goals of users. Through the personas, the needs and expectation of the user can be recognized and considered. Personas are not created from real people, but they are based on actual data collected from different individuals. This helps designers understand patterns from the research and simplify the types of people that a designer seeks to design for. Number 15. Prototyping. This tool is used to examine the behavior and performance of a fresh design before it goes to production. The service is tested by observing the interaction of the user with a prototype of service, mimicking the venue, settings, and conditions where the service is actually rendered. The kinds of prototyping methods are the following: sketches and diagrams, used to illustrate the ideas for discussions and analysis; storyboarding, a presentation of cases or prototype scenario using a series of drawings or pictures to visualize a sequence of events; building blocks prototype, helps in easily creating crude designs as prototypes or create scenarios to depict a story; role play refers to acting out service situations where users interact with products or services; physical models, tangible representation of an idea which is related to the testing of service interactions; user-driven prototypes. These prototype methods uses a unique approach in coming up with a service design. Number 16. Scenarios. This refers to the creation of a hypothetical story to visualize how users will utilize a service in order to generate designs. Scenarios can either be written or drawn with sufficient detail to anticipate and demonstrate the needs of users. These are useful in communicating and designing services where multiple interactions may occur over a period of time. Number 17. Service prototype. This is a simulation tool to test the service design through observation of the interaction between the user and the prototype of the service set in the place. The objective of the test is to verify what happens when the other factor interfere during the service delivery. The simulation varies from a simple role play to more complicated full-scale recreation with active user participation, props, and physical touchpoints. Number 18. Shadowing. The researcher acts as an observer only and does not interfere with the participant in any circumstances. In this method, the researcher goes along with the user and observes how they utilize the service or products within their natural environment. In general, researchers immerse into the lives of customers or employees to observe their behavior and experiences. It gives an opportunity for researchers to witness the real moments when problems occur or situations where people say one thing but actually does something differently. Number 19. Stakeholder map. It is a tool that shows a visual presentation of an organization's staff, sponsors, investors, board, partner organizations, or customers. The map reflects the level of interest and importance of the stakeholder in the organization. The stakeholders are listed and sorted on a chart based on their extent of their interest and influence or the power each holds in the organization. The stakeholder map helps determine who along the stakeholders possesses the biggest impact on the organization.
The term service setting is defined as the physical environment or background in which service is rendered. It paints an idea to clients, customers, stakeholders, and employees on how service would be in terms of tangible and intangible features and appearance. Also, service setting refers to the entire ambience and physical environment in which the service is offered and fulfilled. Types of service setting. There are two aspects on how service settings are classified. First, service setting is differentiated based on service participants and the level of intricacy of service involved. The first type of organization is called self-service. Customers of this organization perform most of the transaction and activities. There is a minimal participation from the employees of this organization. One of the examples is in Robinson's Mall in Butuan City, specifically in Kabalen's Buffet restaurant, where you can eat all you can and you will be the one as a customer will serve your own food. The second type of organization is called remote service organization, wherein there are no customers involved in the service setting. Examples are telecommunication companies and utilities provider, power or water, or etc. The service design could focus on motivating employees in order to encourage productivity, efficiency, and teamwork in the workplace. In between the two types are the organizations where both the customer and service employees are present, called interpersonal service. Most hospitality and leisure businesses are under this category, such as hotels, spa, resort, and restaurant. The second way of classifying service setting is through service complexity. This type often provides service from one simple structure and it's often straightforward in nature. When service setting is an organization is complicated with multiple elements and forms, it is called elaborate.
Redesigning service processes. Service processes. Service processes is a way when a company works so that a customer receives service. But the service processes is similar to all other processes that became outdated because of the changes of factors affecting them, such as technology. As we all know, technology is constantly improving, and having outdated technology has a big risk to a certain processes. Example of outdated process is using time-consuming manual process when a technology intervention can save both time and resources. Customers' needs and preferences. So when you say customer preferences, that are expectation, like, dislike, motivation, and inclination that drive customer purchasing decisions. Consumer preferences are an important element of an innovation processes and a new product development. Presence of new offering. This process of identifying and build and compare your brand presence and performance across different platforms. And even changes in policies and laws regulations such indication that service should be redesigned are as follows. The volume of exchange and communication between customer and service unit is heavy. It may imply that the data is no longer sufficient to satisfy the requirements of the client. Growing number of customer complaints about irrelevant and unnecessary procedures. Exceptions are increasing. Proliferation of review and rechecking steps among new features or activities. Redesigning the service process often entails activities that involves review of the present process and recommendation actions such as reconstruction, revision, re-agreement, or substitution of service procedures. Some of the action being undertaken by some organization in redesigning their service process are the following. Review the existing service design. A true review of the plan would help to identify problem and to come up with solution. The review may involve the different stakeholders to participate in brainstorming for possible solution and or improvement to the process. Removal of unnecessary steps. Streamline the process by determining parts of the process that essentials and removing them or integrating into the other steps to make the procedure shorter and simpler. Eliminating the bottleneck. Bottlenecks are steps in the service process where capacity is slowed down. Managers may come up with suggestions to address the inefficiency, to straighten the capacity, and to ensure that the flow will be smooth in the entire process. Shifting to service design to self-service. More and more organizations are looking at self-service as an alternative to keeping their service process more productive and cost-efficient. Airports encourage self-check-ins and kiosks scattered around airports, hotels, and fast food chains are also into using the automated self-service system.
Again, we are the Group 5, and that's all for today. And thank you for listening and joining us in our discussion. God bless us all.